When Muir talks about cleaner power plants, Patton backs off a bit. Muir says, look, whatever we do, George, it's got to be clean. So maybe we can capture and sequester the carbon from coal-fired power plants. Maybe we can do nuclear. Either of those is fine with me, but it's got to be clean. Patton says, look, I like the first things you were talking about better because this is adding power plants. It's adding to the grid. It's adding to dependence on the grid. Terrace will take down the grid. Tree branches will take down the grid. I'm willing to do it if we absolutely have to, but it's not real high up my list, Patton says. So this is one on which they partially disagree, the tree hugger and the hawk. Muir turns to automobiles. And he explains to Patton that we are in the midst of a revolution with respect to batteries that is, as far as they say, going to put, for General Motors, a plug-in hybrid being able to go 40 miles on an overnight charge on a battery for just really a few cents each day. And 3/4 of the cars in the country go less than 40 miles a day. So that means less than 1/4 of the cars are going to need to use the liquid fuel in their tank, which is there as an insurance policy, because if you get past your 40-mile charge on the battery, then you just become a regular hybrid. Having a plug-in hybrid that can get 40 miles would turn a small car from, for an average driver, let's say even one who drives as much as 50 miles a day, from being a 50-mile-a-gallon car into being a 150-mile-per-gallon a gasoline car. And if what's in that tank is 85% either ethanol or in times in the future butanol or other types of alternative liquid fuels, you have something on the order of a 500-mile-per-gallon of gasoline car, because with existing technology you are using mainly electricity and alternative liquid fuels. Patton loves this. He says, this is incredible. He said, that's going to make Wahhabis unhappy, and anything, as far as I'm concerned, John, that makes Wahhabis unhappy is a good idea. Finally, the two of them get into a discussion about hydrogen and the hydrogen highway. They kind of shake their heads and they say, well, we ought to keep working on it. It's an interesting technology. It's useful. There are things that it can do. But, the infrastructure you're going to need is pretty substantial. Tens of billions of dollars to have the family nearby filling station, the family car, able to be refueled with hydrogen in a nearby filling station. Whereas the infrastructure you need for a plug-in hybrid is that every family absolutely would have to have an extension cord. Period. No new power plants until 3/4 of the cars are plug-in hybrids, according to Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, and an improvement of some percent, 15-20% countrywide in global warming gas emissions for every car that goes from being an internal combustion car to being a plug-in hybrid. In clean states like clean grid states, such as the West Coast or any place that has largely nuclear or hydro, it's about an 80 to 90% improvement. So as they look at these things, Muir and Patton find there's really only one big issue they disagree on, and that's coal to liquid. The reason is Patton loves it because coal is here in the United States and it's not oil and we don't have to get it from the Middle East. Muir hates it because it puts a lot of carbon into the atmosphere. And they just agree to disagree on that. But what this abbreviated dialogue, I think, shows is that although there are some things that your constituents who are tree huggers and your constituents who are hawks may not agree on by way of solutions, they're going to disagree a lot more about the underlying reasons and their underlying concerns than about what to do. And there are a number of things, many of which are in the hands and the control of state governments, particularly with respect to electricity. There are many things that they can do which should tell all of us that we ought to listen to one another. Thank you.